protests financed by pro-Russian parties, gas blackmail, trade blockade and support for unrecognized Transnistria. For over a decade, Kremlin has been trying to destabilize the internal political situation in Moldova. The hybrid war has intensified since the incumbent pro-European president Maia Sandu came to power.
Это экономический шантаж.
This is economic blackmail. It is various embargoes, of course gas blackmail, which was the heaviest and most significant instrument. But since the Kremlin has been using all these methods for almost 20 years now, it has in fact deprived itself of them. Moldovan experts go mainly to the European Union. They unleashed gas blackmail against Moldova in 2021 in parallel with the gas war against Europe. As a result, Moldova has not bought Russian gas for more than half a year now.
The next stage in the deterioration of relations between Moldova and Russia was the beginning of a full-scale war against Ukraine, after Moscow realized that the Russian army would not be able to provide a land corridor to unrecognized Transnistria. Informational attacks came into play. To protect its own population from the influence of Kremlin propaganda, the National Security and Defense Council of Moldova suspended 6 local TV channels that were rebroadcasting from the Russian Ostankino TV studio.
Вместе с вооруженным широкомасштабным вторжением в Украину.
Along with the full-scale invasion of Ukraine, Russia has only intensified its hybrid attacks on Moldova with all the methods available to them. For the last year and a half, we have been observing a very clear link or cooperation between the oligarchic groups in Moldova, especially the various fugitive, corrupt oligarchs, and the Kremlin. Accordingly, this decision is aimed primarily at reducing the possibilities of operational coordination of these hybrid actions of Russia against Moldova.
Following a published investigation about special antennas being installed on the Russian embassy to spy on the Moldovan government, the authorities reduced the number of diplomatic missions from the federation. Journalists mention that the rooftop traffic is particularly frequent before presidential or parliamentary elections or visits of foreign delegations to Moldova.
Usually, diplomatic establishments of the Russian Federation are used anywhere for spying activities, simple spying activities or subversive activities. Now, the Russian Federation is extremely dissatisfied with the reduction of its influence on the territory of Moldova, because we know that now the possibilities to put pressure on the president and on the government have been restricted.
Moldova's movement towards Europe and away from Russia is the basis for preserving peace in the country, experts believe. If Russia is not defeated in the war against Ukraine and keeps the temporarily occupied southern territories, the expansion of aggression will not be long in coming. Moldova will be the next victim of the Kremlin's appetite.
Moldova
is taking steps to dissolve relations with Moscow as much as possible and turn towards the European Union, European values, and of course a very powerful reason for this was the large-scale war started by the Russian Federation against Ukraine, because Moldova has realized that if Ukraine does not stand, it will be Chisinau next.
The foreign minister of Moldova said that it was impossible to restore the former relations between Chisinau and Moscow. Moldova is not ready to ignore the war unleashed by Russia against Ukraine. The sides only exchange messages through diplomatic agencies and ministries. Reported by Diana Kolesnik, Larisa Zubenko, UATV News.